Hey, what's going on, my friends? Let's talk about this USA versus uh Switzerland game. Not good. Not good at all. Didn't look good. I said earlier that I thought it was great that we're trying out some young guys and Pochettino's going to get a chance to see who might fill in the gaps next summer at the Olympics. Didn't learn much. This is a team that Mexico beat or lost to 4-2 over the weekend, but scored 2 goals against, and it was, they put up a fight. The U.S. looked horrendous. It was really bad. It was actually embarrassing. I thought about turning the game off after the second goal, after the fourth goal. I just put it on. I just had it on the background. I couldn't even watch it. Even when they brought in the subs in the second half, I was like, oh, maybe that'll be interesting. I couldn't even bring myself to pay attention to it. It was horrible. I don't know what to think. At a certain point, you're like, what is Pochettino telling these guys? What are the tactics? What's the strategy for the game? Like what are they supposed to do? It doesn't seem like they know. And maybe this is, nothing that, maybe it's the fact that Pochettino is used to such high level players that maybe he doesn't have to overly, manage. He can just give some general tactics, and these guys, they just can, with their soccer IQ, they can figure it out, but our guys looked lost. They were embarrassed by Switzerland. I'm almost positive that either the coach of Switzerland or the players on the field just collectively were like, all right, man, we're in the U.S., we're in Nashville, we proved our point, 4-0, let's take the foot off the gas, let's not beat these guys to death. It was horrible. I don't know how much of the blame goes on Pochettino, how much of it can be chalked up to American players just have very low soccer IQ. Like what I noticed on the goals, it's like these Swiss players, they get the ball and then the US defenders are like jockeying. They're like giving them space. Let's see what they do. Let me force you to one side with my hips. That doesn't work with world-class players. You have to immediately put pressure, and you have to get a foot in, make a tackle. You have to force them to make decisions faster. And if you give world-class players time, they'll eat you up. And we saw that. I think Matt Turner should have saved some of these. I don't think he's the starter for next year, at least not right now. I think that right now the U.S. is going through this really weird time where we don't know who the goalie is going to be for next year. It could be anyone, really. We certainly don't know who the back line is going to be. I mean, of course, Anthony Robinson when he's healthy, Serginho Dest, Shore. Who are the center backs, man? I don't know. Tim Ream? How old is he? Like, I don't know. But we don't generate opportunities. We don't look a threat on goal. And it's just, what is there to be excited about for the Gold Cup, let alone the World Cup? It looked really bad. I could tell Pochettino's frustrated. You shouldn't have to tell guys what to do in every single probable situation in a game. They should sort of be able to figure some of this stuff out themselves. So the fact that they can't is like, it's tough to watch. It's really, really tough to watch. By comparison, if you guys caught any of the results from the Mexico-Turkey game, who we lost to Turkey, right? 2-1 the other day on Saturday. Mexico beat them 1-0, and I watched the highlights. They look good. They look good. I like to think that Mexico and the U.S. are like even, but when it comes right down to it, yeah, sure, we can beat Mexico on our good days, but there's just it's like a cultural or a quality thing where the U.S. players, for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'll make a video about how it's the youth system and the pay to play and however we think of it culturally, But the U.S. soccer players are just not mentally at the level they need to be to ever do anything big. And sure, we're not seeing the European players that are playing at that level. So, caveat, put an asterisk on these results. But overall, American players just don't seem to understand the game at the same level as players from around the world. Let me know what you think, my friend. Do you think that this is like it's because we don't have our main players, or just overall something has to change culturally? I don't know. USA versus Switzerland tonight at Nashville, 4-0. Switzerland wins. USA goes away with no goals. And yeah, it's the last game before the Gold Cup. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll respond. All right, brother. Later.